Hey brothers, Steffo here from the Tantric Men Experience. I talk to a lot of men from all around the world, almost daily over the phone, and they tell me about their struggles in their love life. Something I hear quite often is that married couples that have sex just a few times a year, and for some, it's been several years since the last time, and for some that just have children, the sex is completely gone. So this video will be for those guys who find themselves in a sexless marriage or not having enough sex. So first of all, what does a sexless marriage look like? It looks like not being physically affectionate, not sharing intimacy, touching, and physical closeness. It often looks like only having sex 2 to 3 times a year, so infrequent that you feel more like roommates than passionate lovers. Second, how did you end up in this place? How did you get here to be in this place of a sexless marriage? So there's millions of reasons for this, and here's just few of them, all right? First, the connection has been broken in some way. Maybe you're not aligned in your goals any longer. Maybe the love for each other is dwindling. Maybe the communication between you guys is really bad, you know? So you're not on the same page anymore. It can also be that priorities are off. Maybe you're working too much. Maybe there's some distress inside yourself in the relationship that you don't dare to address, so you overwork instead, right? Or maybe you're focusing on the children as the prior number one instead of the relationship. Or maybe you're just not taking ownership of the situation. You blame it on circumstances, on your wife, on her being dramatic, whatever it might be, and you don't take action to solve it. So there might also have been a lot of pain over a long period of time, which has caused the connection to break. So there's some lack of trust, you know. The trust has been broken in some way. That can be another thing. Maybe you're not honest with yourself, honest with your partner. You do things without telling each other. You say one thing, but do another. That's something women really dislike. Like if you say you're gonna do something, just do it or don't say it at all, right? Walk your talk. And maybe you're not just fulfilling your own dreams and goals in life, and that will diminish the trust that she sees in you, right? Because you're not living up to your full potential or where you're happy. You need to be happy with yourself if you're going to be able to make the relationship happy, right? Another question here. What are the consequences of a sexless marriage? So it will make you feel that you're not needed, cherished, and desired, which will build resentment, not only from you, but from both of you guys. You feel that resentment. The trust will fade even more here because having sex together is the most beautiful way to connect. And now you're cutting it off. You stop your spouse from having access to that closeness with you. Sex aligns your heart and your spirit together. It releases oxytocin, feeling good hormones. Going for too long without those hormones and sharing intimacy on that level makes you feel irritated and passive aggressive about small things, you know, that shouldn't even upset you. And this is where the quote comes in, the expression of like the old grumpy man or the hysteric woman, right? It may or may not be true, but it fits very well in here. So then you begin to trust that person less and less, because cutting your significant other off like that sends so many messages on a subconscious level so that your trust will eventually fade. When being rejected again and again, you might start to feel unworthy, right? You're approaching, no sex is happening, you feel rejected, whatever. Your self-esteem and confidence will decline because you will feel defeated. Being rejected again and again will defeat the most confident guy on the planet. There is no doubt about it. Even though it might not have anything to do with you, you will still take it personally after some time. And that will hurt your masculine pride, your assertiveness in life, and what you achieve in this lifetime. Being rejected over a period of time will make you start feel insignificant and unloved, because human beings are made for connecting through lovemaking. Sure, not having sex is not everything in life, but it's an important part of a happy and healthy relationship. There is no way around that. If you don't want to be roommates, of course. So the chemicals that are released in the brain during orgasm and sex will help you form a bond with your partner. That bond will form on a psychological, emotional, energetic, and spiritual level. The whole spectrum of being a human being. That's why it's super important to have sex in marriage. If you go long enough without having sex in your marriage, one or both of you can actually become fragile to attention from other people of the opposite sex. That doesn't necessarily mean that everyone will just go and have an affair behind their back, but at least have the thoughts start to creep in their mind of like, I wonder how it would be like. Or the thoughts that she might be going with someone else behind your back. So you're setting yourself up for at least an emotional affair, going for too long without this, right? Or a mental affair with a coworker, with a neighbor, because it's in our nature to feel loved and accepted. If we don't have those feelings in our life, we crave them and we start to seek them to get them in some other ways in our life. So bottom line here, guys. If you're not having sex with your spouse, you're setting yourself up for a disaster. And a sexless marriage might end up in a divorce as well if you continue going down this route for too long. If your marriage is ending and you find yourself in a divorce, realize it's not because of someone not getting enough sex. That's never the real issue of you guys breaking up. It's because of the lack of connection, communication, trust, of feeling appreciated, needed, or wanted, and the lack of love for each other, which may or may not have something to do with having sex, enough sex, right? So just realize that the sex is never the real issue for the divorce. So if you find yourself in this situation, something I hear a lot of guys do is they turn to porn, right? And I can just recommend something here right from the get-go. Don't try to solve a sexless marriage by turning to porn or other ways to enhance your sex life. Don't try to spice up your sex life, getting all sexy stuff and remedy with that, right? Because that will only cause more pain, disconnection, and more hurt feelings. The reason being is not a sexual problem. It's a heart problem. That's why you need to tackle the heart in your mind. That's where the work is, all right? We're dealing here with expectations, thoughts, feelings, behavioral patterns, and connection issues, right? So you'll have to get to the root of your problem. My bet is that you would fall into one of these categories I just listed. But then again, there are millions of reasons, but those are the main ones. And I can bet that you can pinpoint to one of them, right? If you really look into it. And if you need help with that, you're welcome to reach out to me and we can talk it over. But you can already start to meditate on these questions, to trace it back to yourself. You know, you need to find the root cause, all right? So these are the questions. You can write it down as well, but I want you to meditate on them if you really want to solve this, right? So first question here, what do you think about your partner? What is it that you're really feeling towards your spouse? Okay? And how do you think about your spouse? What are the type of thoughts that you harbor towards them on a daily basis? So those are the questions, right? So now when you think about them and then you go and meditate on them, it might come up some things like, oh, she's so lazy, you know, she doesn't do that. She's complaining all the time. She's so dramatic, right? She's changing her mood instantly, every day, right? So whatever your thoughts are, you know, look at them. Are they more critical and negative, or are they positive? Find out. And how much percentage? You need to understand that. You need to get super honest with yourself. Remember, where focus goes, energy flows. If you subconsciously thinking of negative thoughts about her multiple times a day, that's where the energy flows. That's what you're going to attract more of and get more of from your spouse. Does that make sense? So what's your connection to your partner outside the bedroom? That's something else I wanted to consider. Understand that women need to feel connected to you to want to have sex. So you don't think that you can skip connecting with her and jump straight into sexy times, right? That's just not going to work. You can't just go a whole day, a whole week not connecting and then thinking you can just jump straight to having sex, right? You got to have to do fun things together, do connective things. You know, you have to laugh together, have fun, and your sex life is going to improve, all right? So go and meditate on these questions. Do it every day for 1 week, all right? I want to give you at least 7 days to do this. And after you have meditated, take out your notebook and journal about what you discover. 1 column of negative thoughts, 1 column of positive thoughts, all right? And I promise you, if you suffer from sexual dysfunctions like erectile dysfunction, you know, that might be connected to these issues, right? Because what you are mentally thinking about her might not actually be something you're craving, right? It might not really be that you want to have sex with her. If so, you know, how are you going to get an erection? Because if you have mostly negative thoughts about her, once you take care of the heart and the connection, the erectile dysfunction will go away as well. Not saying that is you. You need to figure that out yourself in your personal situation. Everyone is different, right? Situation is different. But these are the things I figure out with the guys that I talk to on my breakthrough calls. For those of you who need help right now and can't wait 7 days and meditate on this, and you're really in trouble, go to the link below here and get your free session, right? We can figure out what the root problem is in your sexless marriage If you're ready to start working on your marriage right now, that's the link for you. So go and book your time. And if you have any questions and you want me to do another video on your specific question, just leave a comment below here. Brothers, stay strong and see you next time.
The Tantric Man Experience. Unleash your masculine power, passion, and purpose.